everyone. I just unpacked my new Swift from Alpenglow Yarns and I'm super excited and I want to show it to you. I am a beta tester, which means that I'm one of a small group of people who each got one of these to try out and report back so that the design can be refined before it's available for you to purchase. But it's super exciting, and even though you can't run and buy it now, I want to show you, and that way you can also go follow Alpenglow Yarn. First of all, Carrie's into sparkles, so a couple of extra sparkly stickers came in here. This is a logo you'll see if you go to follow them on Instagram. And then this is my extra sparkly Swift. So we all got to pick our own colors. So I picked this galaxy design that's kind of purple, a little bit of blue, lots of sparkle. And then my alternate color is, hard to catch light, there we go. It's like a black with lots of shiny sparkles in it too. So this is the clamp mechanism, and this makes it really easy to adjust the sizing of it. It reminds me a little bit, I gotta check which ear, it reminds me a little bit of the barbell. I've got my ear right there. Kind of like the hardware here. You can see there's some interesting hardware there as well. Some of you might recognize those horseshoe rings. So I'm gonna put it on my table. Now normally I would put my Swift farther away from my ball winder, but I'm trying to get it all on the screen so you can see the Swift in action. So I'm going to clamp this on. I want to make sure it's really well clamped down because this is precious and it's my first time using it. All right, so this came with instructions, but I'm going to try it without because I've seen it in use before. So my understanding is that there's two ways that you can lift it. So you can either pinch the sides, kind of pinching like this around the base, or you can just put two fingers under it and lift it up. I'm going to try the latter. That's really smooth. And then there's a little tiny button here, and I'm just going to use one finger and just push it and then let gravity bring it down. And try the other way, opening it, pinching on the sides, open it up, gravity bring it down. That's pretty cool. A lot of these you kind of need two hands, and one hand is also holding out your yarn, so it can be really hard to manage. So I matched my yarn. This is a mini skein of Cormo fingering from Sincere Sheep. It was dyed by me and rinsed by me, which means it might be a little messier than if you buy it direct from Sincere Sheep. You can see the dangling tails where I cut a sample, but it should be a good one to wind. Now, first of all, a couple winding tips. Always snap out your skeins because that's going to help line things up. And then also take a look for your dye ties. Those are the strands of yarn, and it could be the same color or different, that go crosswise on the skein, and they often go in and out in a figure 8, or here there's sort of 3 loops, so it's a number that we do not know, but you can see here I've got these 3 strands that go in and out really smoothly. If something seems tangled or like it's overlapping those, stop and figure it out before you put it on your Swift, because otherwise you're going to get a big tangle. So I've got my snap out. I'm going to raise my Swift to it till it's, probably a little smaller than my skein. You can snap it again if you want to, can't hurt. And try to keep it aligned as you put it on. Then I'm going to use one hand to hold this tension out, just lightly, and the other hand I'm going to raise the Swift. And that's where that one-handed mechanism is super helpful. Now, I always like to wait till after the yarn is on the Swift to cut or untie any of these ties, because otherwise you might just drop it on the way to the Swift and ask me sometime how I found that out. It wasn't even my yarn. So I'm going to undo the ties. Some yarns you need to cut them with Sincere Sheep yarn. It is a slip knot, so you just need to pull on the end, it'll loosen itself, and then pull it out of the dye tie, and then you will be ready to go. Kind of goes up and down to get out of the tie. And usually there's at least 2 ties from the 2 ends of the yarn, so I just found my other one really close by. Sometimes, and especially if the original 2 ties are very, very close together, there might be another tie or even 2. Every dyer is a little different in how they put their skeins together, so you want to make sure that you have all the ends. This one is a little loose, so I'm just going to pull that through. Anytime I have these dangling ties, I like to wrap it back around, tucking it on the underside, in hopes that it won't fly free and get tangled. And then I usually like to pull on my end of choice, so it's gone around at least 1 full revolution before I put it on the ball winder and start adding speed to the equation. All right, so I've got here a pretty basic ball winder. I'm gonna put it through the guides, across these little notches, and then we are ready to start winding. And again, normally I'd have these farther apart, like a few feet, but I want to make sure you could see them both and still fit on this shape of a screen. So it's turning really easily. I'm not feeling a lot of resistance. You can hold on to this or not, it's kind of your preference. I usually do gently hold on to it, not because I need the tension, I'm just running it through my hand as opposed to gripping. But that way, if there is a problem on the Swift, I'm more likely to notice before it causes major problems with my ball winder or gets super tangled. Now I'm gonna pause because, I don't know if you saw this, but my yarn tail that I tucked in untucked itself. And so I'm gonna take that out and try again to wrap it so it's going underneath. I might even go through some of these struts so that I can hopefully keep it from flying free and getting stuck around the base of the Swift, because that would cause some problems. All right, let's try this again. The table's wobbling a little bit. I just have a pop-up table here. It's not the most stable, but the Swift is certainly holding on great. It's coming off really smoothly. Easy spin. I'm not feeling a lot of resistance, and a lot of Swifts that I've used, I have to work a bit harder or they go slower because it isn't quite as smooth of a spin as this. And I'm sure there's a more technical term for that, and Carrie, feel free to comment to let us know all the technical stuff. But on my end, this is super easy. It's also pretty and sparkly, which is kind of wonderful. And then I often will slow down a bit as I see that I'm getting towards the end, because that little stray yarn tail might cause more problems at the end. So I just kind of slow my roll. You can see the sparkles a bit more now that we're slowing down. And there we go. So we can pause this, and again, one finger, bring it down. I'm gonna get even better at this when I practice, but it is a really nice, smooth mechanism, and super easy to do with one hand for up, just one finger for the down. So that's pretty awesome. I'm gonna keep playing with this because it's really fun, and I'm super excited to get all my comments in too, because you know I have opinions, and it's great that I get the chance to help make this an even better product before it goes out in the world. So thanks so much, Carrie. Follow Alpenglow Yarn to find out when you can buy one for your very own self. All right, thanks everyone.